I'm in the process of putting my tire back on. This is my spare, and this is the one that got them apple thorns in it. I fixed it, and I dug around and I pulled out, I think, a total of 3 thorns that were actually stuck in there. Oh, I should mention too, these particular lug nuts, they can be tough to get off and to get them broke loose because they have a different sort, they're big, and then they've got a very shallow taper on them. So when you go to crack them loose, they can be pretty tough. But I've got the regular, it's a truck type tire tool that you put this in and then use a handyman jack handle. That'll crack them loose. But I was thinking today, this will be the weekend of the 4th. And that's actually when I bought this, was over a 4th of July weekend, about like 7 years ago. And when I bought it, I bought it from an Army recruiter who had got it from a base in Minnesota and was going to use it for parades and stuff. But then he found a Jeep that he wanted to use instead, easier to move around, lighter. So he was selling this on Craigslist. And I just, I happened to see it listed. So I quick got a hold of him and ran in and took a look at it, bought it immediately, got a hold of my brother and had him come tearing in with the trailer. We got it home right away. Because it's the kind of thing, if you find a deal like that, because I paid $2,000 for it. It had less than 1,000 miles on it. I now have 25,000 miles on it. But deals like that, you get a jump on them. There's no monkeying around. So I immediately got it home. And it's been a very faithful servant. What I was going to say, well, several things. I guess I have several things to say. These are the original tires that were on it when I bought it, which were new at the time. But they were good years and they are not available anymore. But I got these from the Specialty Tires of America. And they were good tires. Actually, better in a way that they're quieter on pavement. Oh, the other thing I was going to mention. I use a lot of WD-40. It's just a handy thing to have. But, the WD-40 in aerosol cans, it's handy that they have that little flip-up snout and stuff. But so many times, I have ended up a can that has some in and loses pressure. So you end up cutting the can open to get the WD-40 out of it. And they're not cheap. So I finally broke down and I bought the regular hand spray can that you just refill out of a gallon jug. Great deal. Saves a lot of money. Another thing I was going to talk about, these split rim wheels. It's funny because every time I say I'm going to work on one of them, people, oh, be careful. They have actual just horror stories in their mind about split rim tires. It really isn't that big a deal if you know what you're doing and use a little common sense on them. They're not that hard to work with. they're a pain in the ass. But if you know what you're doing and you got the right equipment for it, it's not that big a deal. But people think they're gonna kill themselves handling them. But if you're not familiar with them, it is, you got the rim, and then there's this band that goes around that actually clips underneath this band, this rim. It's kind of, it kind of goes like that. So the trick is you have to be able to get the tire down to the point where you can get this off. And there is a little notch in here that you can get in there with a pry bar and start popping it off. Once you get the tire down, they can be stubborn. But the part that always spooks people is when you go to air them up. You have to make sure that the tire pushes this clippy part up under that rim, and then the pressure from the bead of the tire holds it in place. If you screw around and don't do it right and start airing it up and don't have this band clipped underneath that rim, yeah, they can pop off. But you just have to know what you're doing. It's not that spooky of a deal, but I know even tire shops who don't want to work on split rims. But I've done plenty of them. And I think now they're not even DOT approved, because what can happen if you have a flat tire, like on a semi or on a truck, and you continue to drive, the tire will fly apart, and then if the tire flies apart and pops off with this band, the band can come off. And in theory go flying and completely murder somebody. Well, doesn't really happen, but maybe happened once or twice, and so then, but they take a heck of a load. They are a strong setup. But I don't think they even like to mount them on anything anymore. Like I say, I don't think they're DOT approved. But I know that they can carry a heck of a load. And like on the road grader, you use a similar setup, but there it's a tubeless tire, and they actually have, this band doesn't have a split in it, it fits over, then there's an O-ring that seals and a snap ring that holds it on, big snap ring. And I have changed a lot of them. I did 6 of them in one day, and they're not impossible to do either. There you're dealing with something that's fairly heavy though. These are plenty heavy too, but they're manageable. But them grader tires, it's all I can do to lift them up and flip it. But like, say, you saw where I pushed under with the shovel, you've got to get these centered so the flare goes right in the center, because you can tighten them down and be off, and you think you got them tight, the wheel will shift and it'll loosen up again. But you just got to get them right the first time, and stuff like that, like say putting that split rim on. The thing to do is when you're doing something like that, go along and tap it. You'll give it a chance to settle into place. There was a lot of hammering involved in doing it with him. Okay. Now, I have avoided talking about these riots because the country is so split on this. I mean, to the point where we're never gonna agree on anything. This is, reason is completely out the window. You know, and I've often thought, really, as far as being a united country, we haven't been for a long time. And I often look at that. If you've ever seen the country is divided up into FEMA regions, if you look at the FEMA map, I've often thought we should just balkanize the thing, split up into smaller independent countries and quit this pretension of being a United States, because we just really aren't. But particularly with this rioting stuff going on, it just shows you, and a lot of this really, it has nothing to do with race. I mean, they like to pretend that, but race hasn't been an issue for a long time. In fact, I always have to laugh with it. Years ago, reportedly, okay, let's say that, George Soros said that he was going to destroy this country. He was going to break it apart. And he was going to do it by using black people because they are easily manipulated. Now you read and they claim, oh no, he never said that. Which to me means, yes, he probably did say that, but they always like to rewrite history, so yeah, I can see where they would say that he didn't say it. But when you see all of these liberal district attorneys and all this stuff, all of these people were elected running on George Soros's money. They've kind of stacked the deck here now. So you're never going to get prosecutions in any of these people that are destroying monuments and all this stuff, burning down buildings and torching police cars. They're never going to be prosecuted because all of these DAs and stuff are already in the pocket. It's just not going to work. But there's going to come a point in here, because this, they make it like half the country is for this stuff. It's really a very small percentage, but it's a very vocal percentage that are making all this fuss. And it looks like it's bigger because of the news media, which again are all in the pocket. But there's going to come a time where normal human beings, normal citizens, are just going to say enough is enough. And I thought it's so funny when they keep saying, they want to abolish the police department. The only thing that is keeping these people going is the fact that normal citizens are law-abiding. And they have respect for the police. So they don't just go and take matters into their own hands. But all you have to do, if you abolish the police and people were on their own, it would be a massacre is what it would be. So you really got to be careful what you wish for in those kind of situations. In fact, it's so funny because these people, at the first sign of any trouble, they immediately want to call the police. They want to abolish the police, but call the police, call the police. I don't remember which city this was. There was some protest going on, or it was scheduled to go on, this protest to abolish the police department. So they call the police because they want to be protected by the police. Well, they have their little protest, which always turns into a riot, to get rid of the police. And if this doesn't jog in your mind that, okay, there's a potential problem here, and I don't know why the police didn't go, because you go to something like this, and you are going to be the target. You're protecting these idiots, and they're targeting you. Just back off. Normal citizens can take care of this in very short order. It isn't going to be pretty, but it can get done. it's just amazing to me that things could go this far. That, well, I guess, if you've got all these, the deck stacked against you with all these liberal politicians and all this stuff, but that's got to turn around. To me, it's almost unbelievable that normal people would sit by and let this happen. The good thing is, these radical liberals eat each other. None of them agree on anything. If they had actually got in power, they would tear each other apart, because there's no way they're going to get along. They can't get along now when they don't have power. But if they ever got in control, the country's in tough enough shape. You put them, it's just doomed. There's no chance in the world of things working out. But yet they think, if you elect Biden, it's just a joke. I'm not, here's the problem. You're either pro-Trump or pro-Biden. Well, I think they're both idiots. I have no patience for Trump. I thought he was a jerk long before he ever got into politics. But Biden is just a fool. I don't know. It's one of them again where they're asking you to choose the lesser of two evils. That gets old. It always burns me that people had a chance back when Ron Paul was running for president. You had an opportunity there, but no, he wasn't towing some particular party line, so you passed on that. And look what you got. And you're going to do that same foolishness again. It's funny, because people, like they got Obama in there. Oh boy, now we're going to, and race relations have never been worse. From the moment he got into office, things just went downhill. Nobody can get along with anybody. People who used to get along fine. It just wasn't an issue. It still isn't an issue until you make it an issue. There was some stupidness on, saw a little clip where some black family in some fast food joint, a white woman walks by and accidentally bumps into one of this woman's daughters. Oh my God, she's assaulted her, a whole big to-do. Kids bouncing around, you accidentally bump into a kid. This was not on purpose, this was nothing. But follow the woman out into the parking lot, screaming and ranting and carrying on, making an absolute fool of herself, banging on the car, won't back off, never de-escalate a situation. If you can just crank it up, finally that woman pulls the gun out, which I cannot blame her. You corner somebody, what are they going to do, So immediately, of course, the black woman, call the police. Well, no, get rid of them police. You don't need them. You can handle this yourself. But I don't know why you gotta, when in a situation like that, start just cranking it up, just ratchet up as high as you can, and expect there's going to be a good outcome on this. You keep doing this foolishness, and people are gonna die. I don't know how you're going to come through this as built up as it is now without a lot of people dying. There's no easy way out of this unless somebody just wipes out a whole bunch of politicians whole bunch of preachers. I think anybody who thinks of themselves as a professional agitator, you got to just lock them people up, because that's all some of them are. They're, you know, they're there to wind people up. And like these Antifa people, they're great about this. Go in there, get people wound up, and then you just kind of back off and let them go. You know, the mob, when they get keyed to a certain point, then they're just being used. But well, I wasn't going to talk about this. I don't even like to think about it. But I don't see how this is ever going to end without a whole lot of people dying. There's just no clean way out of something like this, unless people, yeah, it can't happen. Not the way people are. But it ain't going to be good. Yeah, but all you got to do, you just get rid of the police for a while. They can all take like a 2-week vacation. Situation will be solved. Not that I'm saying the police are the problem. I'm saying the police right now are the only thing protecting this vocal minority. If it wasn't for the police, if you could just let nature take its course, situation would be solved very quickly, but not bloodlessly.